In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of radio affiliates. The program is actually taped at Fairfield Christian Academy. I do appreciate the students here and JT Burcham. Our executive producer is Kelly Roberts behind the scenes, takes care of our all of our guests, lining them up, a lot of good questions, and do appreciate all the work she does. Back by popular demand is Lieutenant Marc Churchill. Welcome back.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And our jail commander, we had a great program last week talking about the new jail facility, and it's going to be opening mid-June, right?
Right, I believe contract says they have to be completed by the end of May.
Okay.
I know there's some things that we have to go through to get the occupancy permit, so we're hoping to be in there by the end of June.
Now, you've also been doing some training, right, inside the jail with our employees, because there's a lot to learn.
Yes, there's quite a sophisticated security system that myself and Sergeant Nick Graham and a member of County IT, we flew to Ripon, Wisconsin to spend a couple days up here learning it. And then we recently got a good portion of it installed, and there was an early turnover room that they gave us to train in, and we were able to get all of our jail staff through at least 3 times on how to open a door, how to use the intercom system. We can turn on and off lights. We can turn on and off power outlets from a central location.
Yeah, it looks to me, and you've been there every week, sometimes every day during the entire construction of the facility, that it is, I don't know how anyone would ever escape from that facility, all the things that we put into that. They put into it.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult. There are so many security doors. We call them vestibules that if you open one security vestibule door and if someone tries to open the next one down the hallway, the system will actually tell you you're going to breach an area. Do you want to continue? And I've told my staff, I said, if you get that alarm, just simply back up, put your hands up, slowly press no, and then move on. So, because we don't want to breach those interlocks.
What's the average length of time that prisoners stay in our jail?
Male inmates around 14 to 17 days, and females are anywhere between 12 to 15.
And then what's the maximum time we can house a prisoner?
We can house an inmate up to 18 months on felony 5.
Okay. And we talked a little bit last week about some of the medical needs of the prisoners. So while they're in our custody, we have to take care of everything, right, for them, whether it's dental problems, whether it's they're sick, whether they need medication, and probably, I don't think anyone in the jail would disagree with this. A lot of the prisoners come in and their health is already compromised, particularly because they're in many times advanced stages of drug addiction or alcoholism.
Right. And again, this is a misconception the public has a lot. They think that when they come to jail, we're giving them an exorbitant amount of medical treatment, like dental, for an example. We're not doing teeth cleanings. We're not putting caps in. What we are required to do is provide the basic necessities of healthcare for an individual in jail, and that's what we do. So we're not doing liposuction. We're not reversing their age in any way, but we are giving
plastic surgery.
No plastic surgery.
Well, that's good.
But we do make sure that they receive the basic medical care that they deserve.
Right. So coming up, opening in June. Is there going to be some opportunity for some of the citizens to see the new facility?
Yes, I believe the commissioners have worked out a date where they're going to set a it's kind of like a memory box. I know there's a particular word for it, and it's slipping my mind, but a dedication stone will go on the building. And I believe at that time they're going to allow the inmates to, not the inmates, the public, sometimes the public becomes the inmates, they're going to allow a tour of the facility. But we're not going to allow them to go into all the housing units. We will open up one housing unit if they want to go in and take a look around, but it'll be a very structured tour on the secure side.
So as we navigated through the last couple years with building the facility, and you've been involved in that, what's the biggest thing that surprised you as far as the construction of the facility?
Just how fast they do things. I can remember, a good example is this weekend. I was down at the construction site last Wednesday, walking and doing some inspections, and I came back 2 Saturdays ago for the Township Trustees Tour. And they had flooring down in some of the hallways, and it looked good. Before it was just concrete. So how fast they're getting things done now is amazing.
And kind of a takeoff on that, what surprised me is when you go there, the number of people that are there. I mean, there are literally hundreds, almost seems like hundreds of people, whether it's the concrete guys, the electricians, the painters, the metal guys. It just seems to be so well organized that they can get all this done with all these people in a lot of different aspects of the construction phase.
And I think Granger's done a great job coordinating all of the trades. Couldn't have asked for a better company to do this.
Right.
And you're right. I remember there at one point in time they said there was almost 200 people working on the site over all of the trades, and that was just amazing.
Right. So lots of good things coming up, and you've done a good job. Last 4 years as the jail commander. Before that, you were with the radio room, and I thought we would just share a little bit about the communications bureau within the sheriff's office. And you were there how many years?
I was there 5 years.
Wow, so a long time in there. Joe Morris is the new commander there, is doing a great job.
I agree.
And what is one of the big trends we've seen as far as calls coming into the facility?
Cell phones.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting rid of their home phones.
Right.
So the number of 911 calls we get through cellular devices has just jumped. And it's amazing just if you look back 10 years ago and to now, it's almost a complete switch. Cell phone 911 calls are outnumbering landline 911 calls at this point in time.
Yeah, I've often think that now the dispatchers are more on scene than they've ever been before. Because let's say that there's an accident on 33, and there'd be a bad accident. Like you said, 10 or 15 years ago, what would happen is someone would pull off at a gas station, go in and call in from a remote location, say there's an accident, then we would respond. Now there's many calls from people driving down the road on their cell phones.
Oh, absolutely. It's not uncommon if you have an accident on, again, 33, where we'll get 30, 40 911 calls just about that single accident, which is good. We want people to call if they report an accident. Don't think that somebody else is going to report it. Do your due duty and report it. But it is good. And the dispatchers, they do a great job. When I worked with them, I thought the world of them then. I still think the world of them now.
I think it's the toughest job in law enforcement. It really is. I think so.
You get the patrol deputies, again, hardworking people who they'll handle calls for their area. But the one thing with the dispatchers, they're handling all the calls that come in. And a lot of the calls, some of the staff don't know about, just simply answering the phone and maybe directing them to someone that needs to help them more.
And they're multitasking all the time, aren't they? They're entering things into the computer. They're on the telephone. They're dispatching. Lots of stuff going on.
Oh yeah. I probably do 3 things at once, but I think a dispatcher could probably do about 20 different things at a time.
Right. And again, most of the time it's the first contact they have with law enforcement, so they kind of set the tone.
They do, and they need to be the calm ones when the caller is scared, and I think they do a great job with that. They are a good calming voice, and they really help victims of crime and people reporting crimes through the process. It makes them feel better.
Share a little bit now about medical dispatching, how that has changed over the years as far as the dispatchers are able to give advice right on the phone to maybe someone that's come across a person with a heart attack, someone's choking, someone's drowned, in a number of different situations.
And I really have to give thanks to Joe Morris, but he brought this in after I had been reassigned to the jail as the lieutenant. But medical protocols, they set up certain steps that you'll walk the caller through. Such if it's someone having a heart attack, they'll ask them, are they laying on the ground? If not, place them on the ground on their back. They will walk them through each step of giving treatment to someone. And it's really helps the EMS side of things because they know that some type of treatment's occurring as they're getting dispatched. And I think that just helps in the end that it's a life-saving tool.
And within our county, there's 3 dispatch centers. There's Pickerington, there's Lancaster, and then there's the sheriff's office. And we also dispatch for the county fire departments.
Yes, we dispatch for all the county agency fire departments with the exception of Viola Township. They get dispatched through MEC. We do have 3 PSAPs, and what's really good about all 3 agencies, ours, Lancaster's, and Pickerington's, is that at any one time, if we have a failure, one agency can take over for the other.
Right.
And that's just been a great tool for our community, to where you see in major events in other areas of the country where they have a complete communications breakdown. Nobody can talk to anybody. We don't have that in Fairfield County. So we can dispatch to the city of Lancaster. The city of Lancaster can come to us and dispatch for their people.
Right, right. And how does it work with the tornado sirens that go off?
Those actually get set up through the National Weather Service. They can send a signal to our radio room, which is received by a computer, and then from there it goes out through our system to activate the alarms. We can also do it manually if we want to. We can set off individual alarms, or we can set up groups of alarms. So that's been a really nice thing to have for our community. Great warning.
Yeah, I agree. So within the dispatching center, lots of things going on, and that will also, when we have our new jail, it's going to be housed right there. Everything, the Detective Bureau, administrative, civil, and when we do our tours, certainly we'll invite people to go through our dispatch center too.
It'll be very nice. It's going to have a lot of room, and what's great about it is it's got room to expand. And in one area that expands quite a bit, it's going to be your communication center.
Okay, so lots of things going on there.
Yep.
Well, we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you joining us. We'd like to have you back a little bit more especially once we open the facility in June, to have kind of give us an update on how things. There's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have to grow into it.
Yeah.
She's a beauty, but we're going to have to grow into her.
Yeah. And how many square feet? I don't think we covered that.
Oh, I can never remember how many square feet. I know Chief Farrago always, but there's more than 10.
Well, thank you so much.
Right.
Well, the clock on the wall says we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. Our executive producer, Kelly Roberts. And again, this program is produced at Fairfield Christian Academy. If you're driving, buckle up. Be careful. We'll see you right here next week, and God bless.